Hello soulmates, you're welcome to another sewing and drafting tutorial. Today we'll be learning how to make the top on the thumbnail. Now, like you all know, we normally have our starting line of, I'm going to use 1/2 inch like this. So let's connect our lines together before we start the vertical measurements. Okay, now from here, this is my center front. So from here, I'm going to put the client's breast point. Our breast point is 11 inches, our under bust is 15 inches. While the length of this top, I'll be using 19 inches, so plus 1/2 inches, this is 19.5. Then I'll be using 8.5 inches as her chest line. Okay, so now that we're done putting the lines, let's now rule a straight line. Our shoulder is 17 inches, that's 8.5. I'll mark the 8.5 like this. Then I'll repeat the 8.5 from the chest line. Then I'll connect the lines together. Okay, so for her shoulder slope, I'll be using 1 inch on this side like this. Then I'll be using a neckline of 4 inches. So let's connect the shoulder slope. So we'll come back to the neckline, to the deepness later, neck depth. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be using 4.5 as her nipple to nipple measurements. So you put the 4.5 from the bust point down to the full length of the blouse. This is a normal basic block. I have a tutorial where I draft this, but sometimes you still have to repeat it so that people can understand. I'll be using 0.75 on both sides as the dart intake for the front. So you connect it to your bust point. So you connect the second one also to your bust point like this. So let's put our measurements now. Around bust is 42 inches, that's 10.5 inches. It's like this. Then I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then on the full length here, around waist is 34 inches, that's 8.5. we mark it here like so. Then we will now add back this 1.5 inches of that. You add it back to the measurement, then plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, I'll be using 1.5 inch for our bust dart. So you connect it to the bust point here like this. That pattern, it has something like an under bust corset, but it's not a corset. So let's work on that one. This is the under bust. So from the under bust here, on this your center front here like this, you come up here by 1.5, like so. Then you connect it. Then you connect it to your first dart leg here. Can you see it? Like this, you connect to your first dart leg like this. So now let's work with the armhole. Whatever that is left here after the shoulder slope, we have 7.5. So you get the midpoint. After the midpoint, you come in here by 1/2 inch. So you connect to connect first to the half, from the half inch to this place. Then from here you now take it to your, so this is your armhole. We are now going to cut off this part. We'll cut it off before we work on the upper parts. So this is how you cut. You cut like this. Can you see it? Yeah, I think I'm going to be using this length, this full length, instead of using this one. It's too short. Yeah, so I'll just extend the dart leg down to the full length. Like this, and like this. So the next thing now is to, you cut off this one like this, because we are going to close it. We're going to be closing it. Yeah, so when you open it like this, you will now close it up like this. So you will use your masking tape to tape it down, because we don't need the darts. Yeah, so after doing this, then we'll just skip this one. So now guys, now let's now draft the neckline. You now start drafting it like this. The V from this your neck width here, you connect it like this. Now we are going to tighten this our V here. We are going to tighten it up. So you look for any place here in between here like this. So you just connect to the bust point. Just connect from here like this to the bust point, like so. Then you go in by 0.25 on both sides. We're going to connect it now to the breast point. So you connect the other side too, like this. Yeah, so after that, you come out here from this dart leg here by 1 inch. You repeat the same thing on both sides. So you can go up by 2.5. You mark it like this. Also go up by 2.5 on the other side. You mark it like so. So connect the line, rule it up and stop on that 2.5. Rule the second one and stop on the 2.5. Yeah, so you will now connect both legs to your dart leg here, like this. And like this. So now let's close everything. So the first thing you will do first is to open your bust dart like this. When you open it, you stop at the bust point like so. Then so you cut off your neck. You cut it off like this. Then you open the dart leg here. You stop at the bust point also. Okay. Then you now open. You slash this one like this. Also connect it to the bust point and stop. You do the same thing for the other one. Then you also stop. Okay, so you can see we've opened all our darts now. Yeah, so you're going to close this one like this. By the time you close, you notice that here we already have a shortage of paper. We are going to fill it up. So let's close this one first. Okay, So now you close this second one, your bust dart here, you close it like this. Can you see the way I'm closing it? So when you close it like this, you can see we have space, our space in between here like this. So now we're not going to get a fresh paper. So let us fill up this other side that is lacking here, the shortage that we have here. Let us fill it up back. So you take your ruler, so you connect it back to your measurements here. So are you seeing it? Now let's trim it off. Okay. Like this, yeah. So this one is like this. So now we also get another paper. You place it under like this. So you just now connect like this. Now we now cut. So mates, this is our pattern for. So you just take your front like this. You can just indicate your front. Yeah. Then you just indicate where the darts, the pleating, you know, there's a pleating, there's a small pleating there. So just indicate it like this. Yeah. Then you can just know where your pleating starts from. On this other side too, you place it like this on this other side. Can you see it? Then yeah. So this is one of the pleats, this second of the pleats is one of the pleats. So this all pleats here like this, we have to fill in into this side. You know, we went out by 1 inch, yeah, after the darts. So that is the 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Let us add our shoulder allowance for joining allowance of half inch. Yeah, so you connect like so. Like this, then we now trim it off. Okay, so guys, we have our front pattern ready. Let us draft the back now. So we also have a paper here. So the front length, remember we use the full length of the paper, that's 20.5 inches. So our bust darts was 1.5 inches. The bust darts we took on this side with minus 1.5. So we'll minus the 1.5 now from 20.5. 20.5 minus 1.5. So we're going to cut 19 inches for the back. Still know our half inch, our basic line, starting line of half inch. This back, there's no zip allowance on the back. Yeah, there's no zip allowance on the back. So it's going to be cut. It's going to be cut on fold. We use 8.5 as our chest line. Our breast point is 11. Our under bust is 15 inches. Then the full length we're using for the back is 19 inches. So let's repeat our measurements. We use a shoulder of 8.5 inches. This is the shoulder. You repeat the same shoulder on your chest line. Yeah. Now the back, we use 4 inches for the front neck depth. Neck width rather. You repeat the same thing. Then for the back, I'll be using 1.5 as the depth. Yeah, so now let's connect it together. Then our shoulder slope of 1 inch. whatever we have left, you get the midpoint. On this back, I'm not going to go in by ½ inch, so I use 10.542 as a bust point, as a round measurement for the bust, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Yeah, so you're going to connect it straight like that. So you put the 4.5 on the full length, you repeat the 4.5 on the chest line. Yep. Then we're going to use ½ inch on both sides for the darts intake for the back. ½ inch on both sides. So you take it up on your chest line here, you have to come down by 1 inch. Come down by 1 inch, then you connect the other ones. Like this. So her waist is 34 divided by 4, that's 8.5. So repeat the 1 inch for the darts here, then you add the 1 inch for sewing allowance. Yep. Then you connect. We are done for the back. We can cut it now. I think we'll have to remember our shoulder allowance. You know, we added ½ inch for shoulder allowance at the front. So whatever you did at the front, you have to repeat it at the back. We are going to cut it on our fabric now. I'll be adding ½ inch on this side here, like this. Then I'll add ½ inch here. The ½ inch is going to stop here. You know, I already added ½ inch on the shoulder line, so that's what I'll be doing. Then I'll add ½ inch on this one also. Then I'll cut also for the front, for the back rather, I'll be adding ½ inch here. Yeah, so let me cut it off camera. Then after I'm done, I'll show you guys. After cutting on the fabric, yeah, I added the ½ inch on the side I told you. Then for this down part, I would have to open it up at the middle because it's going to have a button here. And I added ½ inch allowance too on this side. Just open it up. When you open it, then you'll be having 4 pieces. So we have 4 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you open the back up like this, I have my darts. I already notched where my dart is going to be, so I'm going to sew my darts now. Yeah, I'll be sewing my darts on the 2 sides for the back. Then after sewing the darts, then I'll turn this down parts with ½ inch. I finished joining the darts on both sides. Then I also hemmed it down. Yeah, so what I ended up doing, I had to cut the same fabric as the lining for the front. I guess I have enough fabric, so I had to cut the same material for the front. So I'm going to use it to turn it on the neckline, this side, like this. I'll turn like this, then flip it over. Then when I flip, then I will now sew. I'll now use the stitch to just secure it down. I'll do that for the second neck. Yes, yeah, so I'm going to close. I'll turn it with the lining. After turning it with the lining like this, I'll turn the down part also. So this is how the front is looking like. So we're going to gather here a little. Remember we had our notches. I notched where we're going to gather, so we'll gather it to this place like this. So it's going to be like this. Yeah, here will be the one to have that's gathers. The same thing, we do the same thing on this other side like this. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so mates, this is how it is now looking after joining it together. Can you see that little pleat we have here? It's giving it this fullness at this side. So it's already looking beautiful. We're almost done. We'll now take the back. So we'll now join with 1/2 inch on the shoulder. I've joined the shoulder. Yes, this is it. Join the shoulder to the back. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to just close it with our seam allowance on the side. Yeah, I finished joining the side seam. This is the inside. This is how it is looking like. Here is going to have button. I'm going to create a buttonhole and a button here so that we can button it together. Next thing now is to just cut our sleeve. I already have the sleeve pattern on my channel, but for just the sake of this tutorial, let me just do that. Our sleeve length is 24 inches. So this is the starting line and this is the sleeve length. Okay, let me make it 26 inches because the down part is going to have an elastic, so I will need an elastic casing. So we have 26 inches like this. So I'll be using 5 inches for our cap height. Then on this side here, I'll use 7 inches. So in between the 7 inches, we have 3.5. So on this part here, I'll go down by 1 inch. Then I'll connect it to the 3.5 like this. On the cap height, I'm going to put around sleeve. Around sleeve is 16 inches. So I'll be using the whole 16 inches here. I'll use it like this. Then I'll connect from here to the 16 inches. Measurement I have here, I'll repeat it at the end here like this. Then I'll connect it straight down. So after connecting it like this, I'm done with my sleeve. Then I'll cut. So I'll use this one to cut the second sleeve. After cutting the 2 sleeve, I'm going to have to join here. First of all, I would fold here like this, then I'll fold again. So that's going to be where I will put my elastic, 1/2 inch all through. Then I'll now fix the elastic. After I'm fixing the elastic, I'll now take the top, then I'll fix it to our armhole. So let me do that now. We are done with our top. You can see it is looking pretty. I don't know if that camera is visible enough, but I'll wear it on the mannequin. This is the sleeve. This is the sleeve. And this is the other sleeve.